no matter how good they are at their job, that person will be toxic. I would first ask yourself, okay, again, how could this be on me? Is take the emotion away from it. What could you have done to not make this person suck? I feel like I've got a leader that's got my back. This stuff changes lives. This is, can I trust you on the field with my life? And this is, can I trust you at home with my money and my wife? But this person has to be either coached up over to here or coached out. And when I understood this for the first time in my life, it massively moved me and it helped me and it changed me, it uplifted me. Okay, yes, we've got another question. Hi.
Hi, Matt. What would your advice be for someone who's managing someone, but that person you're managing is particularly difficult or hard to manage? What would you do?
Thank you for asking that. I always think it's brave asking these things here. I won't ask your name, so you can have some anonymity. How do you say that? Anonymity. Is that right? I think that's right. The question is, if you didn't hear it, I've got someone difficult on my team. How do I go about dealing with that? And maybe what you're trying to say is, how do I get them out? Okay, I see a nod. Look, it's the most relatable reality to everyone. Everyone has experienced. Everyone's ever run a team has experienced someone difficult, and the answer is not necessarily immediately just to exit them. The first thing I say, and I try to preach, and I try to do myself, is take the emotion away from it, and to then ask, okay, well, how is this my fault? As their manager, I think you should deal with their manager. How could this be? I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying, how could this be on you? And actually, if I'm being strong, it probably is on you as manager. You know, when I run an organization, everything is ultimately my fault. The flip of that, by the way, is everything is also on my success too. But with a manager, I think it is true to say that actually whether this person thrives under you or lets you down severely, either way, as a leader, that's how I would define leader, it's on you. And if that's true, I would first ask yourself, okay, again, how could this be on me? And again, you've got to take the emotion away from it because it's too easy and too convenient, and your friends at the pub will say to you, oh yeah, they'll agree with every word you're saying, this person's an idiot, he's late every day, she is disorganized, blah, 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 goes on. We can do that all day long. I think the great leaders kind of rise above that. They don't actually listen to the confirmation bias from their other half or their friendship group, because that's not particularly helpful, because they don't actually know, only you really know, how to answer, what could you have done to not make this person suck, is another way of phrasing that. And the answers might be, well, actually, in fairness, I didn't give them great training when they started. I actually was on holiday in their induction fortnight, so I missed that kind of important contact. I've actually not given them the right resources. I've not asked them enough about their life. I've not set them up for success. I actually put the wrong person in the wrong place. I've not explained the job role properly. I've not given them tools. I've not given them a culture to thrive in. I've made them feel scared of me. I've not made them feel special. I've not given them meaning. I mean, there are 100 ways in which you could have influenced this person's behavior. So first, a great leader, first of all, looks within. And I would definitely ask yourself that first. What could I have done better to make this person not suck? It's on me. How could I set this person up much more for success? It's on you. I say that a lot. And by the way, to be clear, if the person that you're talking about came to me, I said, my boss is rubbish, he's crappy, he drives me mad, I want to quit, I want to leave, I would say to him or her, okay, well, what have you done to gain that reaction? As in, what could you have done better? Could you have asked more questions? Could you have sought help quicker? Could you have taken responsibility? Could you have actually befriended other people in your organization? Could you actually have worked a little harder to get that thing on time so that you didn't start with a bad reputation? And it goes on and on. I preach a lot, and you've heard me say it a lot, on self-responsibility and empowerment and not victimization. It's all on us as individuals to improve our circumstances that we're in. But you asking me as a manager, so that's my kind of quick answer as to, it's first of all, it's on you. What could you have done? And by doing that exercise, you end up having a bit more sympathy, I think, for the person. And so often, that level of sympathy, you can go in the next day and you say, Josh, or whoever the person is, I've been thinking, I think we know that there's some tension in this kind of working relationship right now, and I'd love to sort it out. Before we even get into any of that, I just want to say, I've realized actually that when I first met you on your interview, I told you that you could come to me whenever you needed, and I'd always be available, and my door would always be metaphorically open. And I've realized, I spoke to my friend Matt, and I realized as I was standing there in the audience that actually I have not provided that for you. My door has not been open. I've been so stressed and so busy. I've been away. I missed your first 2 weeks of induction. I want to say, first of all, I want to clean the slate. What I promised you on your interview day that I'd show up and be there for you as your manager, I have not fulfilled my end of the bargain. So I want to correct that going forward. A bit of flipping vulnerability there, by the way. And what might that do to Josh in the conversation? Josh is a made-up name, but what does that do? Josh says, there was something missing that I hadn't quite worked out. I didn't feel like I was fully settled here, and I couldn't quite articulate. I couldn't work it out. But that answer is so helpful to me. Thank you, boss, for saying that. Because, yeah, sorry, I think that's what I missed. I wanted the ability that when I was scared, when I was unsure, when I was nervous, when I wasn't sure how to handle X person, I wanted to be able to come to you, and I kept coming, and you weren't actually there physically, or sometimes even mentally. So that's really helpful. If we can change that, actually, I think everything in my behavior and my performance could start to change because I'll feel more safe. I'll feel like I've got a leader that's got my back. What a fascinating conversation. This stuff changes lives. And look, seeing as you got me hyped up and excited now, can I bring the, there's a flip chart over there. Let me bring the flip chart on. 1 second, sorry guys, it'll be worth it. This is probably part 2 of the answer, which kind of goes back a step as to hiring in the first place. I'm nicking this. This is Simon Sinek's. He's a kind of my hero. I'm a poor man's version of him. Simon Sinek draws this beautiful graph that he actually got from interviewing the Navy SEALs in America. I think the Navy SEALs, as I understand it, they're like the elite kind of Marine, Army, cadet, whatever. They're like the best of the best of the best. And so who they hire has to be the absolute kind of highest ranking, most outstanding members of humanity and teamwork and so on. And so Simon Sinek asked the Navy SEAL team, guys, how do you hire the best in the world? Like, what are you looking for? And they drew this graph for him. And they say on one side of the axis, you have performance, which is a word that I think I can spell, performance. Yeah. And then on this side, you have trust. So clearly, this means, for those who don't understand graph very well, like I didn't used to, this is high performance and this is high trust. So clearly, the person that everyone would want to hire and to keep, to your question, would be this guy over here. High trust, high performance, right? Does that kind of make sense? And the person that nobody would want would be down here. So this person here, low trust, low performance. But in reality, that person doesn't exist. That person doesn't generally come through the door on day one. It is my job as company leader, by the way, to get them there, but that isn't inherently how people start. And so what are you left with? And the person that you described in your question was someone who you made it sound as if was probably here. They were actually quite good at their job, but their trust was low. Let me explain that better, actually. Performance is the kind of metrics that we measure so well in normal workplaces. Performance is if you're a salesperson, sales targets. If you're a marketing person, it might be how many leads you brought. If you're a delivery person, it might be how many 5-star reviews you got, and so on and so on. Performance, we all know how to measure performance. Trust, in traditional organizations, we don't really have any metrics for. It's the kind of softer stuff. This might be skill, this might be character. It might be how good are you at befriending your colleagues? It might be how likely are you to remember someone's birthday in the office? It might be how likely are you to be trustworthy, not lie, tell the truth at workplace, not speak badly of your colleagues around other people. Apparently the Navy SEAL team described it to Simon, this is, can I trust you on the field with my life? And this is, can I trust you at home with my money and my wife? That's the SEALs team explanation of these two things. So back to this person really good at their job, but really low trust, low character. And evidently, everyone knows people like this. And everyone's worked with people like this. And no matter how good they are at their job, as to your question earlier, no matter how good they are at their job, I just can't help but say to you, that person will be toxic. That person will bring down everyone else around them. And no matter how good they are, they will actually disproportionately bring down the workload, the output, the culture, the feeling of everyone else around them. And it's really easy to spot this person. The way Simon Sinek always describes it is he goes into an office and he said, guys, here's the arsehole here. And everyone can point to the same person every time. That's this person. So clearly you don't want this person. But here's the interesting bit from the Navy SEAL team. They said they would take this person of kind of mid-average performance, but high trust, or even this person of like low performance, not very good at the actual skill of their job, but high trust. They would take these people way over this person. And when I understood this for the first time in my life, it massively moved me and it helped me and it changed me and uplifted me. Because I, as a young person, had absolutely no skills whatsoever. I did not go to university. I did not have any kind of higher education. I've never even had another job apart from the one that I built. So I don't really have I don't have skills. I'm low performance. But this stuff, flipping heck, anyone that knows me, like, I can do this naturally without even thinking about it. Like, I think I am a highly trustworthy, integral person. I don't think I lie. I don't even swear like I spoke about earlier. And I think anyone that's ever worked with me or knows me, I would like to say, puts me over here. And this gives me so much hope. And so I hope that's helpful to anyone thinking about how on earth could they get a job when they have low skills, especially entry-level jobs. But I also want to say to your question, which sorry was absolutely ages ago, I've gone on to a bit of a ramble here, but this is just so topical in my mind. I kind of want to say to you, this is really what you want to talk about with Josh was the word we made up, I think, or the guy's name we made up. This stuff, this is really the important bit. Performance, you can teach, you can train, but trust, feeling, character, softer skills, this stuff for a growing organization is like the most important thing. And actually, it's okay to keep people here. It's even better to hire people here. Clearly, you want to get in this direction. That takes some time. But this person has to be either coached up over to here or coached out. They absolutely can't stay. So have a think about the person that you described. Where are they on this? And then I would say, acts beautifully, but accordingly. Hope that helps. Hello from me and from Otto, my dog. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. I'm so grateful to you. This is a brand new YouTube channel. And I think since I left Clownfish, having run that place for 16.5 years, I finally worked out that all I want to do in my life is to be helpful to what I think is an increasingly lost and lonely working world. And that's probably both sides of the coin, those that do the jobs and those that lead the teams that do the jobs. So if you want to be part of that and you like this kind of content, I'd love your help to grow this channel. I'd love you to A, press like, and B, subscribe. Or just check you're subscribed anyway. And C, maybe tell your friends. I know everyone says like and subscribe. I finally worked out why that's important. It helps grow reach, helps open doors, and ultimately it'll start to do cool things like get me guests, which I'd love to do. I've got some big plans. I want to be helpful, I believe I can. So please be part of it, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much from me and from Otto. He's a bit distracted. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye-bye.